So you spend years of your life perfecting a trading strategy, and it finally paid off. Your trading account grew tremendously, but out of nowhere, your strategy stopped working. So your first thought is it must be your psychology, or that's at least what every guru told you. So you proceed to work on your psychology for a year or so, and you're back to making profit. So what happened during that year? Was it really your psychology, or was it volume? So when we are talking about volume, we're not talking about the volume indicator or any session-based volume. We're talking about the macro fundamental sense of volume. In this case, this will be based on the amount of orders getting injected into the market, and the representation would be the distance covered. How many points has price covered? So the more volume there's in the market, the more points or pips will be covered per said duration. The time period where your strategy was giving you great results, it had a specific volume. And when the volume changed, you failed to make adjustment, and that's why the strategy stopped working. So let's take a look at this hypothetical example. So let's say in 2021, you were trading Euro USD, and your strategy was based on the 1 hour order block alongside with other confluences. But in 2022, the strategy no longer works, and that's because of the ADR. ADR is the average daily range. It's the average number of the amount of points your asset class moves daily. So let's analyze Euro USD. So in this case, in 2021, Euro USD moved 68 points per day, and that was the average. But in 2022, Euro USD moved 91.5 points per day, and that's a huge difference. So in 2022, since the volume is way higher, you must change/adapt your time frame based on the ADR increase from 2021. So whatever strategy you was using in 2021, you must adapt it for 2022. So in our hypothetical example, the higher the volume, the higher the time frame your order block should be in. So if your strategy was based on a 1 hour order block in 2021 at an average of 68 points per day, you would have to look at a higher time frame in 2022 by experimenting with different time frames like the 4 hour or the 6 hour, and find out which time frame is perfect for your strategy alongside with the volume increase. So after collecting data on how the volume affected your strategy, you will find out that your strategy still works, and all you have to do is switch your time frame based on the volume. So the way to measure ADR, you would want to use investing.com's volatility calculator, and how you would get this year's ADR would be, you would have to put the amount of weeks that went by during this year. So right now we're at the end of 2023 and 50 weeks have passed. So you would calculate your 50 weeks, and this is this year's so far ADR. So Euro USD's ADR for this year is 78.71 points. So an early sign you should look for is when you start seeing more wicks than bodies. So let's say if you're using the 1 hour and you're used to seeing your trading approach really clean, and out of nowhere for a few weeks, you start seeing more wicks than bodies. That means the time frame has changed. So that's when you adapt. That's when you take a step back, let the market play out, assess what time frame should you use, and continue. So if you want to take a deeper dive into what time frame you should use, make sure you enroll in the market penetration course where we cover time frames deeply. Easy way to get around this, let's say you're trading support and resistance or supply and demand or your smart money order blocks or whatever your entry is. Let's say this line here is your entry, but price comes up here and rejects. It does not reach your entry. So what you want to do, you want to analyze this level. What did this level reject from? Because this can indicate that price rejected from that exact same level that you're looking for, but at a higher time frame, because we know price is fractal and the representation of this level could be on a higher time frame. So in this case, let's look at this example. You have a order block right here the price did not reject from, and you had another order block right here, which is your extreme, the price did not reject from. But where is this reaction coming from? What is the origin of this reaction? So you mark out this reaction. You mark out this reaction and you stretch it. You want to see what the price reject from. What you see here is a shelf. This is your shelf, this entire thing. Because this is your high and this is your low and price consolidated inside. So this is your entire shelf. So what are shelves? If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know shelves are higher time frame order blocks. So higher time frame order blocks are your lower time frame shelves. So now what you do is you go on your higher time frames and you want to see a representation of a order block. Nothing yet. Let's go on to daily, and boom, you have a daily order block that price rejected from. So price rejected from this order block. So what you do now, which you want to go in your back test and you want to look at multiple daily order blocks and you want to see how price reacts from. And if that same strategy that you use, let's say if you use your 1 hour order block or your 4 hour order block is not working for you anymore based on the ADR, you want to try out the daily and experiment with different reactions. You can look at this reaction, look at this reaction, and try and see what you can see in price and start collecting data. Until next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like and comment on your way out.